I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, I'm going to introduce you to a wonderful children's book. It is called The Witch Who Saved Halloween. Kimberly Hall weaves a tale that celebrates the magic and the mystery of the holiday, highlighting themes of friendship and cultural diversity. This heartwarming children's story not only entertains, but educates as well. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank our team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today and ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel and by buying her wonderful book, The Witch Who Saved Halloween. The links are below this interview. Kimberly, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Thank you for inviting me.
My pleasure. This is a great book and an original story, and you don't expect witches to save Halloween, but this one does. Tell us about how you came up with the idea.
Um, I had some free time and it was that time of year. And I dedicated a little more time to the holidays, so to speak. And I decided to change my approach to Halloween and I decided to write about it.
Great. Well, we're glad you did. It's a great story. Let's give the folks at home an overview. Tell them a
Sure.
little bit about the story of the witch who saved Halloween. You can begin. Once upon a time, there was a witch.
Once upon a time there were two characters, you know, young, and those that still believe in the spirit of
The
a new beginning.
supernatural,
Yeah,
perhaps.
well,
Yeah.
no, not necessarily supernatural, of friendship, first
Mm,
of all, of and what they know of the world, and it's at the time of this time of year, it's Halloween. They have plans to do what people do on Halloween, what kids that age do on Halloween, and things start to rise, come into play there, where um, their plans have to change, and it's just the way that they go about of dealing with that is what the story is really based on.
great, great. And the book focuses on diversity and friendship as well. So tell us a little bit about that, why you decided to develop these themes and what you think children will learn from reading the book.
Well, I wanted kids and parents alike to learn to it's like a grow book. It's like a growing up book.
Mhm.
Um, we have these friendships, we develop friendships at young ages, and no one could disappoint you, or things of that nature. Kids have a go 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 attitude, and this book deals with that in mind there,
Mhm.
and the chemistry of what these two girls have to overcome, so to speak, to see their plans go off as they originally planned.
Mhm. Absolutely. And they have a little adventure along the way, which makes it fun as well.
Yeah,
Tell us,
I add a little bit of creativity in there, um, just to make it more interesting.
yeah, exactly. And there's a tell us about that creativity project in the book.
It's basically the girl, one character has a costume, a typical costume, and one doesn't. So they have to use their creativity in how to go about to do that. And
Mhm.
it's just a an art uh written type of creativity project where they both see if they can come up with an idea on how to create a costume.
Great. Is this the first book you've ever written?
It actually is.
Okay, great.
It actually is, and it's a beginning. The I've written several other things since then, and I'm really really eager to move forward with what really was just an update of my feelings towards Halloween, and what it means um as we age and grow, how once we realize our differences of opinions,
Mhm.
and what it takes for friends to remain friends.
Yeah. Absolutely. Those are all important themes, that's for sure. Have you had the pleasure of reading your book to any children?
Um, I have not.
Okay. Okay. Well, Barnes and Noble, whatever bookstores are around you, this would be a great story time to have for the kids, or even the public library. I think it'd be great. So we got to get
Yes,
you out
okay.
there on the circuit reading your book to some kids and getting some feedback because they're the greatest critics of all, you know.
I think so. And it's kind of, like I said, I'm not really a public speaker, so it's new to me also interacting with the public.
Yeah,
Um, so I'm trying to get a feel of what it takes to get my opinions across as far as what I would like readers to gain from my writing.
exactly. Have you envisioned this perhaps as a cartoon or an animated feature or something like that, or even live action?
Um, I would hope so. I would hope so. It probably would work there. Um, and also possibly with a little bit of editing as far as adding a different um perspective of how I get of how I moved along my characters in the book there. I wanted to intertwine education. I wanted it to be a little bit of more than just a fun read. And that's why I intertwined uh, the art and creativity project, and a little bit of talk about education. It made fun at it a little bit, and
Mhm.
it made me chuckle.
Yeah,
It made me
absolutely.
chuckle, and and
Abs-
and and I thought it was great. I really did. I said, this is so great. I said I'm going to try and see if I can get it written, and so
Mhm.
I was so pleasantly pleased. I had a good publisher. Um, we pushed it along there, and I was very, very pleased with it.
Great. Well, you should be. You should be very proud of it. It's a great book. Tell me about what you're working on now. You said you've got a couple other projects you're working on.
Oh my God, I've written so many things. It's in the lines of poetry. I've written a few other Halloween books. They're not all geared towards children's material.
Hmm.
Um, I've even started writing a what I think will probably be a film or a motion picture centered specifically around Halloween. So that I'm really, really eager to push through there and see what becomes of that.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, we're excited to watch you as you grow as a writer. Was it easy writing? Did it just kind of flow out of you, the story, or did you have to really rack that brain a little bit?
Um, you know, I thought of the storyline. I thought of a
Mhm.
storyline, and it wasn't until I actually sat down and started to write. I gave myself a timeline, no, and I said I'm gonna give myself 2 weeks. I'm gonna give myself 2 weeks to write this book, and I was able to write it in 2 weeks. It's a short story, but like as you move down the line as far as writing, I got other things that have taken me years to write.
Right.
So 2 weeks, but now for those type of books, as far as children books, I usually can pump them out in one day at this point in time.
Right.
So um it gets more exciting.
Yeah. Yep, it does. It does. As you become more advanced as a writer, you come up with different ideas and different angles, and it definitely does become more exciting. That is wonderful. And what's next for you as far as coming up with a screenplay? Have you thought about writing that for The Witch Who Saved Halloween, or are you going to leave
I
that to
would
other people?
I would love to.
Yeah,
I said that I would give it some time, and it probably has been enough time, and see if I want to change my story a little bit. And I have changed a few things in the storyline, but it is something that I wouldn't mind have working on in the near future.
great. And the illustrations are wonderful. How'd you go about getting those illustrations made?
Actually, my publisher, they
Mhm.
hired the illustrator. I gave how it worked was, I kind of gave freedom for them to illustrate the book as they read the actual work.
Right. So they
So
basically read the text and then came up with the image that would fit with the text and basically ran it by you. Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think this might work? That kind of thing.
They actually did the illustrations, except for a few pages. I was adamant about what I wanted to appear there, but they
Right.
mostly created all the illustrations.
Well, they did a good job. You left the professionals to do the professional work of illustrating, and you did the writing, so it's a great combination. The name of the book is The Witch Who Saved Halloween. It is a heartwarming children's story that highlights themes of friendship and cultural diversity, and it celebrates the magic and the mystery of Halloween, which I know as a kid was one of my favorite holidays. I used to have a debate in my head. Is it Christmas or is it Halloween? You know, Christmas is great, you get toys, but to go around with
Oh
your friends dressed up at night and collecting candy from strangers' homes, that's pretty wonderful too. Do you have a best Halloween memory? Do you have a favorite costume or anything like that?
I was always a make it yourself person, a
Hmm.
DIY, do it yourselfer. My peers, we weren't big on the professional look of Halloween, so that's heartfelt in this story also.
Yep. Well, making your own costumes are the best. Anybody can go and get a Ben Cooper costume from the dollar store, 5 and 10, or Woolworths, or wherever people buy costumes nowadays. But
Exactly,
to
but
make your own,
we're showing our age there though.
I
Woolworth,
know, I
oh
know.
my
I'm like,
God.
I'm trying to come up with a store. I'm like 5 and 10, no. Woolworth, no. Grants, no. I don't know where kids. I guess they get it from Party City. There we go. That's where they
Party
get the
City,
costumes. There we go.
right.
I know my age is showing. I'll watch out. So wonderful talking to you today, Kimberly. Thank you so much for joining us.
And I thank you very much for inviting me. And I appreciate that you enjoyed my book. I really do. It makes me, um, it gives me inspiration.
Great, great. Well, you should be inspired. You should be very proud. This book is wonderful. It is highly recommended. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.